And welcome to another exciting episode of the Neville Goddard Podcast. First, Merry Christmas to you. Wherever you're in the world, whatever you practice, whatever you believe in, let's explore the spirit of Christmas today. Today we're going to dive into Magnify the Lord, and this girl, Amber, I believe was her first name, she smashed into my car, not once but twice. And for me, life was over. Autonomy, freedom, gone. But we're going to tell you what happened next and how it all worked out, because I chose to magnify the Lord instead of magnify my problems. That we're going to dive into the fact that sheep simply stare. Don't become a sheep. Have a lovely day. Let's dive in. Alrighty, it's not your fault. Let's get really clear on this. The masses stare like sheep. That's their habit. That's okay. They're asleep. You can fall asleep too. Just allow your eyelids to get heavy and that's right. Go to sleep now. Stare like a sheep. See, the masses stare like sheep. They're in shock. Just chew some grass. And that's okay. Anytime I've experienced trauma in my life, I've gone into shock. It's natural. It's part of what the body does. It's part of what you're designed to do. It automatically puts you into stop and be still. The thing is, while you're in stop and be still, that's when it's time to start investing. That squirt of cortisol that happens, it gets your attention, it sets the stage for movement. But are you going to move as a reaction? Or are you going to move as the producer, the director, the actor? Are you going to direct the play of your life? Because that's what you came here to do. Neville Goddard said you came here to know imagination. Meanwhile, the sheep are watching the movie. Chewing grass. Yup. And that's okay. We've all been sheep. We're all going to have upsets. We're all going to experience shock at some point or another. It's not your fault. It's the way we're designed. But the thing is, when you go into that, something bad happened. Or maybe you wake up in the morning with a worry. That's the natural thing, by the way, from what I can tell. As soon as you go from being formless and faceless and identify with a body, with having a body, you experience a little squirt of cortisol. And most people go, oh shit, I got to remember to do this today. All right, I got this coming up. Is that today? This is how most people begin their day. Might be how everyone begins their day. I ask a lot of people. They all giggle and agree with me. But here's the fun thing. As soon as you notice that you have this stillness available, it's time to have a giggle. It's time to enter into the state of active imaginer. By the way, you guys that are eligible for Remarkable that haven't signed up yet, sign up. We're going to dive into some really cool shit this year. But this whole active imaginer thing, right? Email me if you need info on that. This whole active imaginer. This is important, gang. Because Neville Goddard teaches to magnify the Lord. This is what Mary was told. This is what Mary did. Magnify the Lord. And when you magnify your problems, you go into trance. You tell long, rambly stories, or you just sit there going, wow. Oh. Sheep tell long stories. Sheep stare. Sheep simply sit there in the muck. Stand there in the field. They need a shepherd. You get to magnify the Lord. When you magnify the Lord, remember the Lord your God is your awareness of being, is God, Neville Goddard said. How you're aware of anything being in your life, that's your imaginal experience. A scene is how you experience what you experience. Neville taught that every single time. And there's some really interesting people out there now saying, I don't use scenes. I said, well, I guarantee you do, because a scene is how you experience what you experience. Study Neville. Don't just teach him. So many people are teaching Neville now. They don't even know him. Study the basics. There's so many layers to the onion. Rant over. So the sheep, they stare. The sheep, they make long movies, long stories. They're hypnotized by them. Some of the stories in the movies actually feel good. The sheep stand there going, yep, that feels good, that their movie. But it doesn't feel real. It feels real when you magnify the Lord. It feels real when you embody ownership. It feels real when you embody accomplishment and satisfaction. It feels real when you do exactly what we keep sharing. It feels real when you keep diving deeper, because the more you discover about your awareness of being as God, the more dance time you have in life. My question to you today is, what are you magnifying? Are you magnifying your problems? Or are you magnifying the Lord? Are you magnifying that? Life's over. Something bad happened. Life is over. See, for you to even think that, for you to have the opportunity to think that, shows that you're what's giving life right now. To the experience of life is over. God, I remembered when I got my first car. I had it for like 4 months. And I'm going to see this, to work with Joe Hess. He's like an 8th degree black belt in a lot of things. And I'm going to work with Joe Hess. And I'm driving in the city of Pittsburgh. And suddenly this car T-bones me, a little Dodge Horizon. I was in a big Buick. And this little Dodge Horizon hits my front quarter panel, then whips around and hits my rear quarter panel. Totals my car. Right? It was still drivable. That was good because I had 3 days to spend with Joe. But my car was totaled. And I went into my life is over. It was my first car. It was my first taste of freedom. It was my first taste of autonomy. And what I got to do was to discover, you know what? My life isn't over. It's just time for a new car. I magnified the Lord. My next car is really cool because I got like $2,000 insurance settlement out of the deal. My next car I bought for $75. It was another Buick, ran like a demon. Had it for 7 months. Then I upgraded to a Volkswagen, I believe. Oh, I had a lot of fun in that little car. God, I dated this awesome girl. Boy, she was good fun. Meanwhile, magnifying the Lord had me go on other adventures. Some people magnify everything into an offensive subject. Right? Look around. Magnify the Lord, your awareness of being. If you got gold today, we've got goodies at NevilleGoddardStore.com. Go there. Put something in your Christmas stocking. I think you're worth it. Because here's the deal, gang. I think you're worth it. That's it. End of line. Have a lovely day. Have a Merry Christmas. Such a goodie. All right. See ya.